CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Let's take a look at some of the gentlelady's comments. In February of 2019, barely more than a month after becoming a member of this body, Representative Omar suggested that the Jewish people and the American Israel Public Affairs Committee were buying political support, writing on Twitter, "It's all about the Benjamins, baby," clearly amplifying an anti-Semitic stereotype about the Jewish people and money. In response, congressional Democratic leadership, her own party, immediately released a statement by saying, "Anti-Semitism must be called out, confronted, and condemned wherever it is encountered without exception." Not long after Representative Omar trivialized the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001, by describing that day of infamy as "some people did something." That's horrific.
Whoa! All right, you guys saw that snippet. That was just a taste of what we're diving into today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we don't hold back on the real talk. So, the video we're reacting to today, it's been making the rounds, and for good reason. It's Representative Max Miller taking the floor and absolutely laying out the case against Ilhan Omar. And let me tell you, it is a masterclass in accountability. It's not about screaming and shouting, it's about reading the receipts. It's about taking someone's own words and holding them up for the whole country to see. For too long, it feels like certain politicians, especially Omar, have treated their positions like a platform for their own personal brand of outrage rather than a sacred duty to the American people. We've seen the comments, the dismissive attitude towards 9/11, the constant attacks on our allies, the anti-Semitic tropes, and for a long time it felt like she was just getting a pass from her own party. But in this video, Max Miller says enough. He represents the frustration of millions of American taxpayers who are tired of funding a circus. This isn't just about politics, it's about whether we still have standards for the people who represent us on the world stage. So let's watch the whole thing and then we'll break it down. Buckle up.
Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced? Frankly, it is expected, because when you push power, power pushes back. I didn't come to Congress to be silent. I came to Congress to be their voice. And my leadership and voice will not be diminished if I am not on this committee for one term. My voice will get louder and stronger, and my leadership will be celebrated around the world as it has been. So take your vote or not. I am here to stay.
Today's resolution, as it relates to Representative Omar, details 6 statements she made as a sitting member of Congress that, under the totality of the circumstances, disqualify her from serving on the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Some people did something, said a freshman congresswoman from Minnesota, to support and justify the creation of CARE. Today I am here to respond to you exactly who did what to whom. Madam, objectively speaking, we know who and what was done. There is no uncertainty about that. Why your confusion? On that day, 19 Islamic terrorist members of Al-Qaeda killed over 3,000 people and caused billions in dollars of economic damage. Is that clear? But as to whom? I was attacked. Your relatives and friends were attacked. Our constitutional freedoms were attacked. And our nation's founding on Judeo-Christian principles were attacked. That's what some people did. Got that now? We are here today, Congresswoman, to tell you and the squad just who did what to whom. Show respect in honoring them, please. American patriotism in your position demand it. For God and country, amen.
Members of the Committee on Foreign Affairs represent the United States abroad and are regarded as credible emissaries of American foreign policy. Their words have significant weight in guiding our relations with other countries and are relied upon by world leaders. Most importantly, our allies such as Israel, the forever home of the Jewish people. But what happens when a committee member is no longer viewed as a credible emissary of our foreign policy? What if a member is barred from visiting one of our allies because of their prejudiced comments? How can members who are unable to engage with our allies in a constructive manner be considered credible members of the committee? Well, the gentlelady's discriminatory comments disqualified her from traveling to Israel in 2019. Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, would not allow Representative Omar to enter, saying, "We respect all political parties in the United States equally. However, we will also respect ourselves. Whoever comes to impose boycotts on us and to deny the legitimacy of the State of Israel, we will not allow them entry." Yes, the gentle lady disqualified herself from entry into one of the most important countries allied with the United States. Over the past 75 years, Israel has been a steadfast ally of the United States. Israel has stood by us through the volatility in the Middle East, and this alliance has been critical to our own national security. How can someone not welcomed by one of our most important allies serve as an emissary of American foreign policy on the Foreign Affairs Committee? And given her biased comments against Israel and against the Jewish people, how can she serve as an objective decision maker on the committee? Let's take a look at some of the gentlelady's comments. In February of 2019, barely more than a month after becoming a member of this body, Representative Omar suggested that the Jewish people and the American Israel Public Affairs Committee were buying political support, writing on Twitter, "It's all about the Benjamins, baby," clearly amplifying an anti-Semitic stereotype about the Jewish people and money. In response, congressional Democratic leadership, her own party, immediately released a statement by saying, "Anti-Semitism must be called out, confronted, and condemned wherever it is encountered without exception."
Man, okay, let's unpack this. Did you hear that silence in the chamber? That wasn't just quiet, that was the sound of a whole room realizing the gravity of what was happening. That's what happens when you hit someone with the undeniable truth. Let's start with the most glaring issue, the "some people did something" comment regarding 9/11. That line, it still makes my blood boil. It's not just insensitive, it's a slap in the face to every family who lost someone, every first responder who ran into those towers, and every service member who fought in the aftermath. 3,000 Americans died in a coordinated terrorist attack, and a sitting member of Congress brushes it off as "some people did something." As Max Miller rightly pointed out, that alone should be disqualifying for anyone serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee. But it doesn't stop there. Miller goes through her history, piece by piece. The "all about the Benjamins" tweet? Blatant anti-Semitism. And what was the consequence? A slap on the wrist from Democratic leadership. They passed a watered-down resolution that didn't even mention her by name. It's this kind of hypocrisy that drives ordinary Americans crazy. If a Republican had said half the things she said, they would have been run out of town on a rail. And then there's her stance on Israel. Look, you can disagree with a country's policies, but comparing the United States and Israel to the Taliban and Hamas, that is not just a disagreement, that is a fundamental misunderstanding of who our allies are and who our enemies are. The Foreign Affairs Committee deals with sensitive intelligence and diplomatic relations. How can we trust someone who equates a democratic ally with recognized terrorist organizations to make decisions that impact our national security? Miller made a fantastic point about the Prime Minister of Israel not even allowing her into the country. Think about that. We have a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee who is so toxic, so biased, that one of our closest allies won't even let her cross their borders. How is she supposed to effectively represent the United States in that region? She can't. It's a joke. This whole situation exposes a deeper problem in Washington. It feels like some politicians care more about going viral and pandering to the extremes of their base than they do about actual governance. They're treating Congress like reality TV, and we're the ones footing the bill. The American taxpayer deserves better. We deserve representatives who understand the weight of their words and the responsibilities of their office. What Max Miller did here wasn't political warfare, as some on the left might claim. It was necessary accountability. It was was saying that there are lines you cannot cross and still expect to sit on a committee that represents America to the rest of the world. It's about restoring a basic level of dignity and respect to our institutions. I think the reason this video resonated so much is that it finally voiced what so many of us have been thinking. We are tired of the double standards. We are tired of the constant disparagement of our country and our allies from people who are supposed to be leading us. Max Miller stood up and said what needed to be said, and he did it with the kind of calm, collected resolve that makes the truth impossible to ignore. This isn't about silencing a voice. It's about making sure that voice is not speaking for us on the world stage when it so clearly disdains what America stands for. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I off base here? Did Miller hit the nail on the head? Let's get a discussion going. And remember to like and subscribe for more Real Talk.